Confess, I like your black dress even more than I did the day before. I like your black dress. I like your black dress because you told me you like to wear it. You said you like it because the color hides the stains. You said you like it so because it hides from us all the black stains on your soul inside your black dress. You said you like it because back when you were younger and you knew things young girls are not supposed to know, you would wait for a purple moon to fly away on your broom, wishing it all be over soon, wearing your black dress. I like your long nose and long chin and pointy hat. I like your low voice and dark skin and darker cat. I like your crooked back. I like your sunken cheeks. I like the way that you're broken, yet there's nothing to fix. I like your bloating smile, your evil eye, the way there's always at least one cloud in your sky. I like the way you fly, just out of reach. A taunting crow, a horror show. I like that you're a witch. And what a witch you are. Your reputation traveled far. You are the story someone tells on how he got those scars. You're a shooting star without a wish. A fading light in fields at night. I like that you're a witch. I like your cold blood, half mad, serious face. I like your bad mouth and bad luck and bitter aftertaste. I like the way that you chase after raw emotion to be used as a spice in one of your potions. I like your poison spell, your magic spell, the way you curse motherfuckers to burn in hell. I like the way that you tell people what is on your mind and that you have no idea that you're one of a kind. I like the way you no longer bother to hide all the black stains and dark pain you carry inside. I like the way you take pride in being able to preach that you don't have to be the princess, that it's okay to be the witch. Oh yes, I must confess, I like it all. I like your soul, I like your black dress. And yet, it doesn't matter really what I think. If you don't like the black dress, just wear the pink. Thank you. So here's something that maybe you could also relate to and maybe not. It's a disgusting love poem. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you so bad. It's disgusting. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you so bad I don't know what to say. Just want to feel your touch in the most disgusting ways. I want to be the tissue that you use to blow your nose when you're sick. And when you've had a big lunch, I want to be your toothpick. I want to be the pillowcase that you drool on in your sleep. And I want to be the spot sock sticking to your stinky feet. I want to be the towelette you remove your makeup with. I want to be the dental floss getting lost between your teeth. And if the temperatures are hot and you're sweating quite a lot, I want to be the pair of boxers cradling your butt cheeks, wanna feel your heartbeats. But even more than that, I wanna graze your hairy armpits. And the more I think about it, if it's an icky, sticky day, I wanna be your cherry-flavored anti-perspiration spray. It's getting better. Well, I'm sorry. Say, do you have a rash, a scratch, or an itch? 'Cause I wanna be the thing you use for the spots you cannot reach. And all my friends might call me mad, but darling, I'll be glad if at least once a month you let me be your menstrual pad. Now you might say I'm on a roll, but darling, see, my goal is whenever you feel dirty, just let me be your cotton ball. Soak me in your soul. I want it all or nothing. I just want to get to know you so bad. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. A little bit less relatable than the previous one, probably. Yes. There was a lot less nodding of consent and approval than before. Last one? Yeah. Person one is smiling. And person two doesn't understand why person one is smiling. So person two pretends and now person two is smiling. And a few moments after, person two realizes that it doesn't even matter why person one is smiling, because now he is smiling too. And suddenly it seems like such an easy thing to do. See, for the longest time, person two was depressed. He would walk around town with this darkness in his chest, and while it likely began a long time ago, you know how these things can take time to show. So, for a while, person two, he was just another guy. He liked to drink, he liked to smoke, he liked to go outside, but every now and again, out of the blue, this terrible voice would speak to person two, and for a moment, it was difficult to breathe. Like back when person two was a soldier, it was night out there somewhere across the border, and person two was just sitting there looking at the sky. And while he was surrounded by all the other guys, he suddenly felt so alone, and he didn't know why. For a moment, it was difficult to breathe. But time goes by and life goes on. Person two went traveling, and while he was gone, his grandfather died. Now, what can I say? He was a very old man, and that's just the way these things tend to happen. One moment you're there, an old man sitting in his favorite chair, the next moment you sort of fade away. But it's fine, it happens, it's okay. It's okay, life goes on and time goes by. Person two began university, and it was fine for a while until one day, on his way to school, he saw this thing on the road in the middle of this pool of thick black liquid. Now that was blood. And this thing was a dog, and this dog was bleeding pretty bad. See, it was likely hit by a car a few moments ago. And since it was a pretty big dog, the driver had to know that it hit something. I mean, he must have heard a sound. But for some reason, the dog was still there all alone, lying on the ground. So person two sat down and he put his hand on the dog's head and he just sat there for a moment. And then the dog was dead. Now, when person two walked away, he was walking pretty fast because by now he was rather late for class. And when he got to the lecture hall, he sat down in a chair, and I remember he was thinking how life just wasn't fair. I mean, one moment you're there, and the next moment you're dead. And person two didn't hear a word of what the lecturer said because he had this voice saying over and over again in his head, one moment you're there, the next moment you're dead. Now, after that day, things began to change. You see, person two, he thought it was strange, or all those things he liked doing before were just not as fun as they used to anymore. He still drank, he still smoked, he still went out with his friends, but lately he realized that he has to pretend like he's having fun, that nothing is wrong. And all this time, he just felt like he doesn't belong. See, for the longest time, person two was depressed. He would walk around town with this darkness in his chest, and all this time he was desperately trying to remember if there ever was a time when this life felt better, and it seems that if he's just about to decide on the best way to rhyme the word suicide, when he saw this woman crossing the street with her child. Now, it was a little boy, and he didn't know why, but for some reason the little boy had little tears in his eyes. And person two just stood there for a moment and looked at them for a while. And suddenly, for no reason, the little boy began to smile. And suddenly, for no reason, person two was smiling as well. And he felt as if he woke up from under a spell, and after a moment he could hear himself say, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." See, person one is smiling. And person two doesn't understand why person one is smiling. So person two pretends now person two is smiling. And a few moments after, person two realizes that it doesn't even matter why person one is smiling. Because now he's smiling too. And for some people it seems like such an easy thing to do, but for people like person two, it's not so easily done. That's why we're counting on you to be our person one. Thank you. Last one, okay? And then you can go. Do you like breakfast? Do you eat breakfast? Say yes, please, so I can do the poem. Otherwise, I do like an angry poem. On Sundays. Sundays? Oh. Wait, there's a little discussion. Which one? Okay, breakfast. Orange juice squeezing clings oddly undefined as words fail to pin down the sound into a single line. No doubt the ambiguity of this auditory notion originates from a duality of motion. First, the circular grinding of the fruit against the plastic, tearing away the flesh with the movement of the spin. The second is the pressing down of the meat into itself, forcing out the liquid, leaving nothing but the skin until the zesty peel falls limp in its exhausted state, feeling helpless, weightless, drained, devoid of energy or shape. Thus, motion stands at the heart of what makes it so abstruse to describe in brief the sound that drips from squeezing orange juice. Dicing onions, on the other hand, rings out bright and clear. The verb itself seems to sneak up close and whisper in your ear the secret rooted between the layers of the onion's tearful life. How it was dug up from beneath the earth and brought before the knife, and how the blade methodically dissects the structure brick by brick. Its voice cutting deep, sharp and sweet, chirping tip, 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 tip. It is a magic trick of simplicity. The slightest sleight of hand. That's why the sound of dicing onions is so enticing and easy to understand. But then the sound of chopping mushrooms echoes simpler still, as the matter there stands completely bare, with no outer skin or peel to conceal its tender nature. It feels no need to hide. Instead, the neck is stretched out gracefully, the head held high with pride. That's why, when the chopping starts and severed parts begin to fly and fall, you hear neither protest nor complaint. In fact, you hear no sound at all except that old strife between the chopping knife and the stubborn cutting board. Their interaction brief and rather stiff, a solemn minor chord, a dull tack, 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 like a beating heart made of wood. A reminder that some things can hit you pretty hard, perhaps harder than they should. And then the sound of oil heating in a pan is the absence of all these. It is a summer evening spent in a garden kissed by a southern breeze. It is a Mediterranean wind breathing in between the olive trees. The quiet just before the storm that all too quickly disappears. For when he tosses the onions in the pan, they hiss in surprise. The pale skin grows paper thin, diminishing in size. And when he adds in the mushrooms, things begin to coincide. The tender meat crackles in the heat while the beat intensifies. And when he cracks 2 eggs, the liquid spreads quickly across the pan. And in a short span, things congeal and heal into a single whole again. And then, just before it starts to burn, he flips the omelette upside down. And the sizzling noise that follows is such a warm, comforting sound. And he savors these final delicious notes. For all too quickly his breakfast is complete. and with the haunting silence of his lonely life, he sits down alone to eat. Thank you.